Hello. So, it is time for week 5 of VPL Season 4. This week, we're up against, I'm going to butcher this name if I don't look it up, Izunachu. So, their team, I will just say it now, became so much easier for me to fight. Not necessarily due to my own transactions, but actually due to their own. So, yeah. Oh dear. I'm going to get up the team name, because I always forget to get the actual team name. The Richmond Rockruffs, there we go. Before this week, exactly, they had a Jirachi. But they no longer have said Jirachi. They actually got rid of it. In place of that is, most notably, the Mamoswine. They also picked up Rampardos, I think, as well. And then also picked up Cypher. But as for the rest of the team, that consists of Gliscor, Dragonite, Milotic, Tangrowth, Absol, Shuckle, Jolteon, as well as the newly added Mamoswine, Rampardos, and Cypher. Now, this is, as I said, very good for me, because I'm just going to scroll down to the weaknesses here, and that's not a lot for water, not a lot for ice. So, yeah, Manaphy's gonna have a field day with this one. With the Jirachi, it would have been a bit more awkward, but now, Manaphy has a field day here, so we'll get to that when we get to it. However, we've got an exciting one to start with. The first debut of Electivire. So we're going Life Orb offensive Electivire here. We're adamant because we can outspeed basically everything we need to. Outspeeding the Dragonite and the Mamoswine with this. Wild Charge, Ice Punch, Volt Switch, and Low Kick. I had to go between Low Kick and and Earthquake. Earthquake for the Jolteon. The Jolteon's going to be the main thing that they have to actually kill the Manaphy, so I've tried to cover it pretty well, to be honest. Electivire's Ice Punch will 2-hit KO the Jolteon anyway, and unless it's a Specs Jolteon going for Shadow Ball, it's not going to do anything to Electivire anyway. And with me having double Electric Immunity, they may not even bring the Jolteon, to be honest. But Electivire is so good here because we also need a way to break through Milotic. Milotic, I imagine, is going to be their main way of, like, sitting in front of Manaphy. So it's going to be specially defensive, which means a Life Orb Wild Charge is going to destroy that thing. And even then, the Ice Punch is going to do really good damage. The Life Orb Ice Punch will actually even... It'll KO any non-physically defensive Gliscor, to be honest. And Low Kick is for the Mamoswine. Low Kick will pick up the KO on the Mamoswine, especially with the Life Orb. And obviously, Volt Switch is really nice for pivoting and momentum. But to be honest, this week, I can really play aggressive with with some of my pieces. Electivire just does so well offensively here. Just because they have no good switch-ins to Ice. Like I say, they have 2 resists, that being Milotic and Mamoswine, and I've got Wild Charge for the Milotic and Low Kick for the Mamoswine. And obviously, you know, I stab Wild Charge, but you know, I've got Ice Punch for the Gliscor, and I didn't actually do the calc with the Life Orb, to be honest, but we can just do that real quick. This is Adamant Life Orb with Ice Punch, and we're going against Gliscor. So this is max HP to start with. So if it's not physically offensive, it dies to this. But if it is physically offensive, this is max physical defense Gliscor, 80% minimum. Like, that's insane. So a little bit of chip and rocks up, and it's gone. So, you know, even I wouldn't say Gliscor's a great switch into it. So Electivire is going to do some real work here. Electivire is going to be our main physical attacker as well, subbing out for Blaziken, who normally takes his spot. Next up, Manaphy. Honestly, if I play Manaphy right here, it wins the game. Just no questions asked. Same speed as the Electivire, because I didn't want to mess around with speeds too much. Just outspeeding the Mamoswine and the Dragonite. We can play this week so much with offense. We've got some defense, you know, some standard defense. We've got some stuff to break through as well. You know, they've got Shuckle as well. But obviously, Manaphy just will eat Shuckle alive. Again, the main switch into this I'm expecting to be the Milotic. But even Milotic does not take 2 plus 3 energy balls. I'll tell you that for free. Especially with the Expert Belt. We're able to go Modest as well. I ended up going Modest over Timid. Timid let me kind of bulk out a bit, but I was like, I'd rather just go for the damage here. I can play this so aggressively. I don't even need to click Tail Glow. Tail Glow's there as like, if I think I've got a free turn, then I'll go for it. Or if I know I can just take a hit and then outspeed the rest of their team, I'll do it. But otherwise, Surf, Ice Beam, Energy Ball literally kills their entire team. There's nothing they can do about it. This Manaphy will ruin their day. Like I say, Jolteon's going to be the main thing that's going to come in on Revenge, which is why I've got both Electivire and Nidoqueen coming up, just so that he can just switch into electric moves, and then Jolteon doesn't really do anything otherwise, so it's really safe. They could maybe bring a defensive Jolteon, I guess that's an option, but other than that, then no, it's just got nothing. They've got not much for this Manaphy. So yeah, Manaphy's just going to put in some work with the Expert Belt. And if we get a Tail Glow off, it's going to choke KO everything. Nothing can live 2 hits from Manaphy if it gets a Tail Glow off. And even then, things are going to be cutting it close. Like, the Expert Belt... Expert Belt, Ice Beam kills any Gliscor. The Expert Belt, Ice Beam also makes sure I even get Max Spadef Assault Vest Tangrowth, which was something that I could maybe not pick up the KO on without the Expert and the Modest. So I was tempted by Life Orb, but I was like, I'll trade like the bulk that I get from being Modest, and I instead put that into the Expert Belt, so I'm not killing myself with my own Life Orb. So I can just spam moves with Manaphy really, really easily. Next up, something else you can spam moves pretty easily, Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen's got the downside of being a bit slower. One of the times where Nidoqueen speed's really going to come back to bite it, because it's slower than Mamoswine. Earth Power, Sludge Bomb, Ice Beam, Toxic, very standard moveset. Again, they don't have really any good switching to Ice. I wanted to make sure I had Earth Power on there, just so I had actually some way to kill the Jolteon, in case it is more of a bulky variant. You know, I otherwise wouldn't actually have any way to really hit the Jolteon that well. So I figured having it on there. Sludge Bomb does reasonable damage to a good number of things. And again, Ice Beam. I think Nidoqueen's maybe not optimal here, but I wanted to make sure I had more damage. I want to play this one a bit more aggressively. But that's not saying I don't have my defensive pieces where I need them. Again, Ice Beam's just going to do really good damage, and to their main switch-ins, notably Milotic's not going to be nice, but I do have Toxic for it, and Mamoswine will probably eat it regardless, but even then, if I call it right and I go for an Earth Power, it's not going to appreciate it. Nidoqueen's more so just here for the Jolteon. This will also probably be my dedicated Sleepmon if I need something to switch into Tangrowth, so probably be serving that role as well. So, because I'm not bringing Blaziken, so, but breaking, what's it called? Tangrowth's not going to be hard. All 4 of my quote-unquote offensive mons, because Latias is actually a little bit offensive here, actually have ice moves. Like, all of them have ice moves, because they just destroy the team. We're actually not even running Stab on Latias. I'm kind of going with my bulkier set, with Defog and Roost, because I was considering Xatu for this, actually. I was actually really considering Xatu, just because of Shuckle, because it will just shut down Shuckle entirely, but I figured that'll be for one Pokemon, and Latias does generally better into the rest of their team, and especially because with the small amount of special attack investment we've got here, we can actually go Ice Beam into the Gliscor, and if they switch into Mamoswine, we can Grass Knot it. And that will actually get the KO on offensive Mamoswines. So, the rest into HP, I also wanted it, Latias, because I have something naturally faster than Cypher, so if I need to revenge the Cypher, I can. If I get Rocks up, then obviously Cypher's at 50%, and then the Ice Beam will take it out from there. So, Ice Beam does about 60-ish percent, 60, I think it was about 66% with the investment. And like I say, the rest in HP just does really good work. Just no stab on Latias, because, I mean, it doesn't really need it. Like, it's just like, I'd want, what, Stab Psychic for absolutely nothing, and Stab, Dragon for the Dragonite, cool, but I have Ice Beam anyway, so, like, I just don't need the stab here. It's just click ice moves. And then to round it out, we've got Registeel, physically defensive Registeel. I don't really need anything specially defensive, because if you look at their team, the special attackers on guard are Jolteon, which I have 2 immunities for, and then Milotic and Tangrowth, and that's it. That's their special attackers, and those aren't exactly conventionally offensive special attackers. So, and especially Milotic, like, I'm gonna beat Milotic with Manaphy anyway, eventually, unless it's, you know, defensive. And then Tangrowth, like, I've got plenty for. Like, Tangrowth isn't gonna be a problem. I can force Tangrowth out easily. So I've gone physically defensive, but we're also running a couple odd moves. We've got Stealth Rock and Iron Head, which I think are fairly standard. Rest, I think, is reasonably standard for Registeel, if you want to make sure you keep that longevity. But then Curse is an interesting one. And the reason why we're going Curse is because of Shuckle. If it comes down to a 6v1 and Shuckle's the last Pokemon, and or like it's 5v1, Manaphy's dead, and I've got nothing to kill Shuckle, and it's just gonna rest and be annoying, Curse Registeel can win the game from there. And again, if they've not got really any special attackers, if I'm able to get rid of the Jolteon early, for example, and I just start cursing with Registeel, the game could be over. So, they've got things like, you know, Dragon Dance, Dragonite, which can probably put a reasonable stop to that. But, no, Registeel just does really well here. And I was thinking, well, don't I need Registeel for, Dragonite, for example? But Registeel can't really do anything back to the Dragonite to really force it to stop. Like, I can T-Wave it, but that doesn't really stop it from just Dragon Dancing all over my face. And especially if it's, like, DD Roost, and then, Dragon Claw / Outrage plus Earthquake. It doesn't really work. Which is why we are instead physically defensive Umbreon. This is also really nice for Mamoswine, because Mamoswine actually doesn't get superpower here. So, Umbreon's really safe into Mamoswine, and Foul Play does really good damage into their physical attackers. I wanted to run Heal Bell, forgot it, didn't get it. But Baton Pass to give us our safer Wish Passes is certainly not a bad thing. Foul Play does really solid damage into a good amount of Pokemon. I believe Foul Play is a 2-hit KO on Mamoswine. I think I was looking at Banded though, so maybe not. But it's going to do obviously really good damage. Just the fact that Umbreon can take hits so well here. And they don't really have any way to, you know, go for fighting moves, to be honest. Even Nidoqueen will take on the one thing that I think would be carrying a fighting move in the Scyther if it comes. So, you know, there's that. So, yeah, I think this matchup is super, super in my favor. Like, I've not felt this confident in a matchup in a long time. But just, Manaphy just wins here. Manaphy just wins so hard. And I'm tempted to go, like, Timid Max Speed or whatever, just to make sure I outspeed the Gliscor. But if they're not running a defensive Gliscor, they have nothing really for Electivire even. Honestly, they didn't. If they're forced into Spadef Manaphy, Spadef Milotic, they wouldn't have a lot for Blaziken either, which I'm not even bringing. But if they're not physically offensive Gliscor, they've got nothing for Evire. They've got nothing for Evire, so they've got to run physically defensive, which means they can't run a lot of speed. So, I think just this works so well. It's going to be a lot more offensive, with just kind of a couple defensive pieces just trying to hold the team a little bit together. Maybe pass some wishes, because while the bulk isn't tremendous, they wouldn't mind a wish. Like, they're naturally bulky Pokemon, both Manaphy and Nidoqueen, which I can see myself passing wishes to. And Evire, maybe I could get a cheeky switch into. So, Glad to be using Givire. I didn't know if I would actually get to use it, but this is really a solid week for it, so really happy I'm able to. Definitely gonna be playing this week a lot more aggressively, so we'll see you for the match then. Alright. It's actually been quite a while since I've recorded a live battle, but here we are. Hopefully, in fact I know my new tactic of actually waking up early for these matches, not waking up literally 2 minutes before, is actually going to help me not be tired for these. One of the issues I've been having recently, where, you know, I've just been super tired for these matches, whereas this time I actually woke up a lot earlier. By a lot earlier, I mean, in comparison. I've just realised I am not signed in. I asked for Izu to send me the challenge. Realised I'm not logged in. There we go. Okay. So, let's go. Right. Forgot. Didn't put it to light metal. Yep, so there's Jolteon. No Tangrowth. Knows right to be prepared for Jolteon. No Cypher. No Absol, which I was a little worried I'd be a little under-prepped for, so... Kinda glad I didn't respect it, so... Ah, there we go. Guess I'm glad I didn't bring Blaziken for the Tangrowth, because it didn't come. Nidoqueen's only bad if it's a exactly Mamoswine lead. But I'll go with it. It's Shuckle, okay. I mean, I'm fine getting a Toxic on this. They put up webs, not a problem with me. I can get rid of those at a later date. They just stayed in Overpower for a turn. I think that's reasonable. That did a lot of damage. In fact, if they don't rest here, they die? They go to Gliscor? Ice Beam? They'd have to run a decent amount of speed. Oh, that's dead. That's just dead. They played aggressive with that, and I just went, but why do I care? Because I just didn't. I did not respect it at all. So I can just wish here. And I don't take that much. They can predict this, absolutely. They can predict the protect, but I'm not going to take the risk. That's fine. Umbreon is great at dealing with this thing as well. So they DD here, but I got Foul Play. Yeah. So, even after the multi-scale. Just dies. And this isn't even Manaphy putting in this work. I think this is where I'm willing to go to Latias here and just try and defog. Go for the Hypnosis and misses. Well, I'm glad it missed, because I want to defog. Oh yeah, you get competitive. And I die. Well, that's unfortunate. You're right, you're offensive. Okay. You were just going webs and try and go in. I see. Well, I do have an Evire, which outspeeds you. So, whoop. To go to Jolteon, which makes a lot of sense. But, like, what are you doing to me? That is my question. Like, Jolteon gets no moves. Like, that's just the thing with Jolteon. And Jolteon... Like, it's not gonna... It's gonna Shadow Ball me. The worst thing you can do is Spec Shadow Ball. That, I think, is Spec Shadow Ball. Fair enough. I think that's Specs anyway. Wow. Jolteon. Yep, it's Specs. Okay. Whoop. They go to my Milotic. Baton Pass. Back to Evire. And now it's like, well, you know, here we are. Should go for the Wild Charge. No, they switch. That's fine. I can go to Umbreon, because they can't touch me. They actually go for Thunder. I could be so greedy here. I'm gonna be greedy. Yeah. Whoop. And protect. Physical defensive Umbreon. I knew it wouldn't work here. Yeah, they were just going webs and just trying to kill me. They were going aggro as well. But due to, you know, me actually running bulk. I'm just going to protect. Just make sure I get to full. I'm going to put a Wish in the air and then I can foul play. Bit of chips, not too bad. It is, you know, offensive. I said I needed a sleep fodder, and boy do I have one in Nidoqueen. So I'm actually just gonna go to Nidoqueen here. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, there's no reason why I should have to get away with that. Let me just have a look. That's Registeel. Umbreon versus Milo. Yeah. That's about, it did a little bit less, so it's got a bit of bulk. Oh, that's 31 IPs. Okay, yeah. It's whatever. I'm just gonna go for an Earth Power here. Do good damage. Mamo comes in. Like, Umbreon's at full. Umbreon has no reason not to just come in here and just wish. Physically defensive Umbreon. I think Manaphy just hasn't come in. Manaphy just has not had a need to come in, so... Does Specs Thunder kill me? So... Jolteon? Specs Thunder Bolt kills me, never mind Specs Thunder. I'm just going to go to Evire. They put the webs again, which means I'm definitely going to be trying to play this a little bit on the slower side. Ah. Hello, you. I have an Umbreon. UQ gets a higher roll, but we've got Wish. This physically offensive Umbreon is just putting in too much work here. It's just putting in too much work. Unfortunately, because Registeel is for death. Thunder will be a 2-hit KO on me, so I can't really do that until Jolteon kind of goes away. I'm probably gonna just try and set up rocks at this point, right? I want to actually just give the wish to myself. So, I'm just going to stay in foul play for 2%. Actually give the wish to myself. We've got a Nidoqueen. Goes for a Toxic and it fails. And we'll just go for Earth Power. I mean, I lose into Crit Earthquake. I've got no reason to try and mess about with that, so I'm just gonna go for an Ice Beam here. Yeah, I don't want to lose to Crit Earthquake. I'm also not gonna mess about, and I'm just gonna foul play. See, there's the Crit Earthquake that I was worried I was gonna lose to. But they can't even click an electric move here because they're Specs. So I'll Protect. They've got to Shadow Ball. I can Wish. And then Wish Protect, and this will beat the Jolteon. Manaphy didn't even get to show its face. Literally, Umbreon, on its own, has won this game. all this prep for Manaphy to win this game. Evire was going to put on a show, even because Registeel had such a good chance to actually do work here, and Umbreon just won the game. I don't know what to tell you. Like, we got really lucky with some of those. Obviously, the Hypnosis miss. They missed a lot. They missed, you know. I just don't know. They went like really aggro, with that for sure. But yeah, physical defensive Umbreon. I just knew I had such a good matchup here, and oh boy, did it! Jeez. Like, man, if he didn't even hit the field and it like destroyed this. But I had to get webs off. And then I lost my defogger. So I don't know. So, yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you very much for watching this very quick one, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.